Ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here on YouTube. We're talking Crypto.com today, baby. CRO is in the house, is blowing the roof off the house. We started covering Crypto.com back in September, maybe early October. I can remember price points and discussions around the 20-cent level, and we were talking about this multi-year ascending triangle that was coiling like a rattlesnake ready to bite. So we can see that this thing has just been on a phenomenal run. So congratulations to all the holders. Now, people have been asking me, the number one question I've been getting is this thing done running? Or do we still have some gas left in the tank? Well, that is a very sensitive question that I need to answer very carefully. Before we do, check me out on Twitter at Real6Fig. This is where I'm dropping news, charts, updates, live streams, upcoming videos, things I find interesting. So if you're interested in what I'm into at the moment, like Yokai Swap, hit me up on Twitter at Real6Fig. So back to the charts we go. Back to the question we go, I should say, is that if we go ahead on the daily chart, okay, there's a few things that we can look at. First off, we can look for price structure in the form of Elliott wave theory. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys. This is what keeps me up at night, especially with Crypto.com. I'm trying to figure out in my head if this is the starting point that Elliott wave theory started, or if this is the starting point for Elliott wave theory. And we won't know until we know, but I do know that price is overbought right now. I'm not saying Crypto.com is overvalued at these prices, because I do think that it is somewhat undervalued at 93 cents. But I do respect the laws of Elliott wave theory, Ichimoku cloud trading, and I do think that maybe, just maybe, there may be some sort of short-term pullback in the works coming soon. So, when I say that, I'm thinking that we might get this 0.4 to 5 level and move up higher. But let's really look at Crypto.com on CoinGecko. So we can see this thing has just been flying up the chart ranks, and we are seeing Crypto.com in rank number 12, which is great. 95 cents as of right now. $24 billion market cap, about to overtake Avalanche, which I was also talking about Avalanche and why everybody should get on board when it was at like $50 a couple of weeks ago. I said this thing's ready to explode. Nonetheless, we can see that we are preparing to overtake Avalanche and that we have separated the two dogs from each other, Shiba Inu and Dogecoin. So hopefully they don't get too mad and try to bite us. I do think there is a possibility for Crypto.com to dethrone Dogecoin in the top 10. And I say that because these exchange coins are extremely valuable when we think about it. I think that a lot of people, we start thinking of these exchanges. They are the holders of all these coins. And so we almost have to think of their value as all of their holdings, all of our holdings in these exchanges. So that's one way to kind of look at it. Do I think that Crypto.com is undervalued at $24 billion? Yes, I do. Do I think it's going to keep going up? We'll get into that. So I do think that things are looking good, and I'm hoping that maybe, just maybe, we can procure the top 10 spot and push Dogecoin down. I like Dogecoin. I like Avalanche. I like Shiba Inu as much as people hate it. There's really not any cryptocurrencies that I really hate, except for the rug pull scam coins. And I get you could lob Shiba Inu in there, but hey, we're still holding at 20 billion with Shiba. So there you have it. Back to the charts. So if we see some structure like this play out, it's very important to note Fibonacci extensions and where we have already gone. So we need to really understand this. And to do that, I am going to measure off this little wick here down to the all-time low. And let's just kind of go ahead and see where things have gone. So bear with me 1 second. I just want to make sure that I get this kind of dialed in perfectly here. There we go. And what we can see happen here was price action started ripping. We saw it rip right up to the 161.8 here, and then it pulled off and it retraced down to the 127. This is a very common thing in trading, and this is where I will buy the dip even sometimes. If we see an asset come up, bounce the 161.8, I may rebuy in a little bit more at the 127. It is what it is. There's always a risk there. Never try to catch a falling knife, as everyone says. It's great advice. So I do think that as of right now, we are seeing Crypto.com kind of bounce off the 361.8, which is a very interesting level to reach. And I do think that this thing has the potential to maybe, bear with me, maybe, just maybe, kind of trade back down to this 87-cent level. And I do think that $1.25 is not out of the question for Crypto.com. And I do think that we may see some sort of Elliott wave theory, if this is Elliott wave theory, do something like this. Now, if this does play out like that, we need to be careful, because this is a lot of upside momentum in a very short amount of time. But the caveat to this, there is a caveat, is that this has been a long time coming. And this has been an extreme ascending triangle that has really been forming. You don't see this too much since 2019. So think about that. How many multi-year ascending triangles can you point out like this? And so there is one other way to kind of gauge how high an asset might go. And that's literally to measure off the bottom up to this trend line here and then place it where you think 0.0 might be. So we're going to do just that. And you'll be surprised at how often this is accurate. I'm not saying that this is financial or trading advice to be doing this, but, and here's an example. I mean, it just blew it out of the water. That's insane. So there is kind of this, this possibility that, yes, Crypto.com is not done running yet. And I do think that we need to see price action trade sideways a little bit more before we can move upwards. And here is an example of Crypto.com trading sideways. I'm going to get rid of this Fibonacci. Is right in here from 0.1 to 2, if this is 0.1 to 2. And I want to make that very clear. We could be seeing the top at around $1. So there's really two different kind of, that's where these different price plays come into action. When I said earlier, $1.25, $1 being, if this is Elliott wave theory, and this is the top, $1.25 if this is Elliott wave theory, and the top is up here. So I do think that we might see some sort of symmetrical triangle consolidation. There may or may not be an opportunity to buy the dip here. It may be a quick wick down in a move upwards. So, and it could be that this thing dips and then it dips harder. So it's kind of one of those things where you need to make your own financial decisions, and that this is not financial trading advice, at all. So that's kind of where we are with Crypto.com right now, folks. So we are really kind of waiting for this next pullback. Everything's looking good, as in Elliott wave theory, to the upside. So, if we get that, $1.25 might be on the table. But everything kind of depends on Bitcoin as well. So what is Bitcoin doing, folks? Well, we can see that Bitcoin has been in this upward trend since July. And we can see that right now, Bitcoin has a nasty little bear leg with a symmetrical triangle forming. And we'll look at this in just a second. But this is very important to see that we have entered the cloud on the daily chart, and that's the Ichimoku cloud. And this is not really a good sign to see, because typically price action can have kind of a hard time getting out of this cloud. And we haven't really seen that here or here, but it would be hard for Bitcoin to really rally up through this cloud. We'd be facing a lot of resistance. Ideally, we want to be moving through thinner parts of the Ichimoku cloud. So I do think that right now, Bitcoin really could be, this is just such, bear with me one second here. This is just such a predicament. I mean, here we have a series of corrective waves, and this could also be construed as some sort of Elliott wave, corrective wave to the downside, and we may be seeing, here's an example, and we may be seeing some sort of ABC pattern playing out. And if price action can't hold, we may come down to retest this $54,000, $53,000 level. And if we can't hold this trend line, if price action does go that route, well, we're in some trouble. But I do think that this little retracement here, I'm going to clear the charts. This little retracement here kind of looks a lot like this little retracement in here. And so what we can see is that, yes, price action came down. There was a pump. Price action went down. We can see that price action came down. There was a pump. Price action went down and consolidated before moving back upwards. So it's really, I don't have the answer as to what Bitcoin is going to do. But all I know is that if Bitcoin starts tearing off, this thing is poised to possibly test this mid-$70,000 level. With that said, folks, I'm going to end the TA today on Crypto.com. Big shout out to all the Patreons. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon, it's $3 a month. Get your name, YouTube channel name, or business name up on this banner. I wish you all the best during this holiday season that is upon us, and we will catch you guys on the next video.